It says we're going live, and hey, it says we're live, and it says we're live on the right channel. It says Wave Coffee Talk, April 13th, 2021. Hi, everybody. We are starting this coffee talk about 8 minutes late because we already started 8 minutes ago on the wrong YouTube channel. We were live, we were just live on the wrong channel. So now we're here, and we are live, and we're excited to be here. My name is John Ike. I'm the executive director of our Westlake Charter School, and to my right is our WAVE president,
Amber Houston.
And just below her is our K-8 principal,
Mrs. Caillou.
And to her left is our high school principal,
Mrs. Batten. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Talk. Thank you all for being here. Again, sorry for the 12-minute delay. We got blew it on the YouTube launch, but that's okay. Let's have some fun. If you are at home watching the show and you want to celebrate along with us, you can use that link right there on our screen. It's bit.ly/WCS Coffee Talk form. The capitalization does matter, so just on your little, URL bar, type in bit.ly/capital W for WCS, capital C, capital T, and capital F for WCS Coffee Talk form. You can drop in a celebration right now, and we will read it on the air. Hey, you guys, on the other channel, when we launched, we just kind of did some celebrations. I think we probably just jump into the slides, though, to keep the show moving. Let's see if we can do these slides and kind of move them around a little bit. First of all, the format's the same as always. We will start with some celebrations. We will talk through some presentation pieces, but we would love to do some Q&A. If you have questions, thoughts, concerns, celebrations, we want to hear from you and have you be part of the show. So go ahead and send us your thoughts, and we'll read them on air through that form right there. We love to have your celebrations, so please send them in now. But we'll start with some celebrations. Let's see, who do I give this one to? I gotta give it to the mom of a rock star. Ms. Houston, would you like to take this one?
Absolutely. I think we all love this celebration. Our virtual talent show, the 2021 talent show, was absolutely fantastic. And if I can be honest, I think I liked it a little bit more than us live. I love us being together, but I think we got to see so many unique acts. We had so many explorers with just incredible talents. I mean, there was everything from magic to dance and singing and musical instruments. There was just so many things.
Monkey
bars. Yes, just so many fantastic things. So well done to all the students, and thank you to our incredible talent show committee for putting this together. They worked really hard, and it was just incredible.
Everyone involved. Great show. Mrs. Caillou, you want to just celebrate our staff for the work they've done for reopening?
Absolutely. It's been really fun when we welcomed our staff back onto campus full time, right? We were able to really practice what it would look like to have arrival and dismissal. We did some training with our staff. And honestly, we've seen the fruits of that labor, right? Where the students have come onto campus and we are using those protocols throughout every day. And we're keeping our students safe and our staff safe. But we practiced and we found a way to, you see a lunch wagon train. We take those lunches out and deliver them to classrooms every day, about 10:50. You'll see them go out there, but we just, I'm just proud of and honored that our staff has been worked so hard to learn these protocols and to implement them with our students.
Yeah, and if I can embarrass you, Mrs. Caillou, a great job on your leadership, man. I mean, you are sitting at the, you got the front row seat to the wildest show on earth. This so many moving parts to this gig, and just congratulations to you. You've done a great job leading our staff. We all appreciate you more than you could possibly know. Hey, Batten, you've been here every day. You've seen the kids on campus. You want to just kind of celebrate a little nugget, something you see in the pictures there?
Absolutely. So you see that picture right there, Miss Folden, second graders going into class. That was the very first day of students on campus, and the picture was taken because it was just that moment of like, how is this going to feel, right? We got kids on campus, and what's the feel going to be? And it was almost as if I was watching Mrs. Folden do her first day of school in August. She was asking for thumbs ups. They were practicing protocols. No minute was wasted. There was joy and enthusiasm along with the safety of practicing those protocols that Mrs. Caillou had led our staff through. So so exciting to see students back on campus. And our amazing staff just leading them through all those pieces.
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, here's a couple more pictures. Obviously, kids in class learning with each other, collaboration happening. I love the picture of the outdoor activity here. This is Mrs. Woodard, who's one of our PE teachers, who's leading outdoor activities, and the kids are playing red light, green light, and it's just like joyful and safe. And I love that. I love that it's like the outdoor activities are fun, but they're socially distanced and masked and appropriate, and everybody's washing their hands. And man, I'm just really proud of the work everybody's doing to make this happen. I was talking about earlier about how I walked out today and saw students using the outdoor spaces. Distance learning has been amazing. We've done a great job, proud of all of our staff. But to watch our staff take our students and say, hey, let's shut the Chromebooks down. Let's go outside. Let's get some fresh air. I saw students today out in the quad with chalk doing big math equations and graphing on the concrete. I saw third grade using outdoor space for their morning meeting in the morning, getting fresh air, and I went, oh yeah. And this place is so beautiful in spring, right? Everything's blooming. So yeah, it is wonderful to have students back. Hey, Houston, will you give a little shout out to our food services partners?
Absolutely. Our food services partners are incredible. They're out there every single day with lunch for our students, and they provide weekend meals, they provide breakfast. I ran to campus to pick up supplies, and they're like, come over, please get some food for your students. They're just so helpful and welcoming. And I mean, look at this food. There's so much incredible food. And it just really does help kind of make the day easier, especially when you are taking your kids to campus and they grab that lunch on the way out and they have something to eat when they get home. So it's just a really great partnership, and we appreciate them.
They feed them the kindergartners leaving on a Friday with a lunch and a supper and a breakfast for the next day. And they're like, I can barely carry all the food, but they're doing a great job. So much gratitude for that team. Hey, Batten, what's this? What's this thing? Westlake Charter Signing Day.
Can I take this one? Can I talk about this one? So if you are within a 1 mile radius of our campus on March 26th, we apologize. We've been pretty quiet for a while, and so we thought we'd bring back the noise and bring back a little Westlake spirit with a boom. So we invited all of our ninth graders who were enrolled to come onto campus and go through a drive-through signing day. And so signing day was about picking up Westlake Charter High School gears. They got a t-shirt or sweatshirt. They got to grab some other pieces of gear. They got to sign. You'll see in the middle picture there, we have a huge picture frame mat that they're all signing. This picture frame mat, every time I look at it, I start crying because it has the names of all of our founding staff and students on it. We had a photo booth set up, and then so we had all these ninth graders in the parking lot, and our founding staff was there too. So some of our founding staff members were out welcoming them in. So every time a student pulled in the parking lot, big announcement on the PA, cheers went up throughout the parking lot. It was just a really fun first event for this ninth grade class, and we can't wait to continue having some more events and so it was fun to do something that was safe, socially distanced, but yet still coming together to celebrate these students and the founding of our Westlake Charter High School. Yeah,
one of our new high school teachers was there, and his spouse was there, and I happened to be standing near them, and he turned to his spouse and said, wow, this is so different. This is really cool. Like, he was just like kind of blown away, like, this place is pretty filled with spirit and never even opened yet, So he got a little taste of the Westlake spirit right away. It was great. It was great. Hey, everybody out there in YouTube landia, if you got a celebration, drop it in the forum. We'd love to have it. Ms. Batten, any celebrations to shout out while we're transitioning? She's muted, so she's probably saying, I'd like to celebrate Mr. Ike. He is. Oh, probably not.
There is one. Sorry, I'm trying to. Mrs. Perry, do you want to read it? I'm trying to bring it over and get it in the right spot. Sorry, guys.
I would love to. It says, I would like to celebrate all the staff at the gates making the morning entry so quick and smooth, and a celebration for the protocols and all Westlake staff supporting them and keeping our students safe. I truly feel that my children will be safe during their school day, and it feels so good to send them off to school with that confidence and sense of security. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your students with us and for celebrating that. It's a community effort for sure to keep all of us safe. So thank you.
And a shout out to the parents and the kids. I mean, the kids are following the protocols because people are all taking it seriously. I work at that front gate, and the kids have figured it out. Stand on the dot, move through the line, answer the questions, use the hand sanitizer, stay 6 feet apart. I mean, the families and the students are making it all happen. So great stuff. You guys ready to dive into the show, and then we'll see if questions bubble up as we roll. I think I'm up first. The format is we dive into some celebrations, and then we do some information, and we hold some Q&A. I'm talking about what I seem to always talk about. I can't wait until next year when I can stop talking about reopening school. Like some coffee talk, I want to come out and just talk about something else. But I'm excited. I do get to talk about reopening and increased capacity, which we are so over the moon excited about. I mean, we're excited about being on campus 2 days a week, and we are super grateful for all the collaboration that's making that happen. But the reality is going to 4 days a week is like so exciting for us. In fact, when we met with our teachers to prepare for increased capacity, they were like, how soon can we do it? Can we do it on April 12th? And, I'll explain why we had to take a couple weeks to get our furniture in order. Chromebooks was a little bit of an issue, and I'll explain that. But we're very excited to open on April 26th and increase capacity and run out the last 6.5 weeks of school together and seeing those kids on campus more often. These charts that I'm going to throw up here are like we've become very familiar with, right? This is from the Blueprint for a Safer Economy, and we know that like Sacramento County has dropped on its average daily case rate. I know we haven't been talking about it every week like we used to, but we've gone from a 63.3 new cases per 100,000 citizens, inhabitants of Sacramento, all the way down to just yet today released this number 7.8. So we're right there. Remember, we've been targeting that number of 7 for so long, but recently, because of this chart you see on the left, recently, it's been adjusted. So even though we're above 7, we are still in the red because now between 6 and 10 is in the red. But with this close, Sacramento, keep wearing those masks, keep washing those hands, keep social distancing, and we'll go from the red tier, and they're talking about, it looks like maybe next week, it's possible that we go to the orange tier, which, my goodness, we've all been in this purple and finally red for so long. I don't even know what orange means. I just know it'll feel better. So it's very exciting to watch what we've all done together as a community, and that's where we are. But, the big change right now is this 3-foot data study. I don't know if I'm sure we've all heard about it, but I won't nerd out too much on it, but this is the actual study right here. This is the study. It's out of Massachusetts. It included 537,000 students in this 10-week study or 16-week study. So over 16 weeks, 500,000 students and 100,000 staff members. Some of the schools socially distanced at 3 feet. Some of the schools socially distanced at 6 feet. But everybody adhered to all the hand washing, mask wearing. They had held strict to all the other safety protocols, but they just said, okay, you guys want to be 3 feet, you guys want to be 6 feet, and they ran this study. It was a pretty legitimate study. I mean, I kind of looked through it. They used this binomial regression, and they have really solid research here. And this is what they came up with: virtually no difference in the number of COVID cases transmitted at the 2 different sites, 3 feet versus 6 feet. So over here on the right, you'll see this chart. You could choose. Do you want to be the blue line or the gray line? I mean, they're pretty much the same. Do you want to be the orange line or the yellow line? They look pretty much the same. Those are COVID transmission rates. Blue and gray is 3 feet and 6 feet for staff. And orange and yellow are 3 feet and 6 feet for students. So here we go. We're looking at okay, we're all trying to adhere to 6 feet of social distances, and we know the ramifications of that. If you have to stay 6 feet apart, you can't fit your whole classroom in a classroom. And so we've been using these hybrid models. But with this new research, it says, well, as long as we still wear our masks and we still wash our hands and we still don't share materials, it looks like we can be closer together, and now we can go back to school more days a week because we get more students in the classroom. And so I just want to be clear about the why behind it all. I read the study. It's only 25 pages. I can link it to it's an interesting read. There was some medical jargon I didn't understand, but most of it's pretty understandable. You're like, I get it. I see what they're doing there. So let's talk about how that plays out for us, right? So currently, our rooms can hold about 20 students at 6 feet apart. Well, if our class loads at 22 or 26 or 24, you had to stay in this situation where I'll come to school 2 days a week and you come to school 2 days a week and we'll share. That's at 6 feet apart. Well, that's what a classroom looks like 6 feet apart. But if we increase to 22 to 28 kids per classroom, because those are our class numbers, you could actually fit up to 28. We went and measured at 5 feet apart. Just 1 foot less social distancing allows you to get everybody in the room 5 feet apart. Now, if you go to 3 feet apart, you can fit as many as you want. But we don't have any classes bigger than 28 because we have the smallest class sizes in the area. So we can all fit in a classroom if we all come back to school at 5 feet apart. So that's the big change. So we're currently working on reconfiguring the classrooms. We asked our people to take spring break. Everybody's worked pretty hard. We said, look, we need time, and we need, some teams did stay on campus over spring break, and they did a big furniture move, which I know sounds like not a big deal, but we're talking about hundreds of pieces of furniture getting shuffled around. And as of today, we think we have the right number of furniture pieces in each room. Remember, a lot of our furniture was shared furniture, meaning me and you sat at a table together. Well, if you're really going to stay 5 feet apart, a 4-foot table doesn't do that. And so that's kind of slowed things down. We needed some time to order some pieces, get them in, and make sure that we're all able to social distance at 6 and 5 feet apart. So there has been a furniture ramification of why is it taking so long to reopen? There's a furniture piece. The other big piece was this, Chromebooks. So what I'm loving is, as we come back to school, we're seeing a lot of people just closing the Chromebooks and be like, we're not a Zoom in the room school, so let's just do school without the Chromebooks. And we love it. Get outside, learn as a community, do your thing. However, testing's coming up. There are some reasons we have to have devices in the classroom. Well, we have 600 students who have a Chromebook at home. And if we ask everybody to bring the Chromebooks back to the classroom, then they won't have them at home for their extra independent learning. And we thought, well, we got to make sure we have enough Chromebooks to reopen 4 days a week. And we do. We're unpacking some right now that we had ordered 4 weeks ago. They came in. We're configuring them now. And by the 26th, all the furniture will be in place. All the Chromebooks will be in place. We had to order a bunch of new supplies and materials. Some people wanted some plexiglass and some different things. And so we're getting it all locked in. And by the 26th, we'll be all configured. So there's some logistics and operations, but we're really excited about it. So there's some scheduling assumptions that I want to go through because I think they make a lot of sense for Westlake. This is really an interesting time in education because as you look around, everybody's attacking this problem of school in different ways, which is interesting because we all kind of used to look so similar because school has looked the way it's always looked. But now we're attacking these problems very differently. Some people going to school 5 days a week. How are they doing that and why are they doing that? Our mission statement is really important to us, right? We demonstrate what is possible in school and community collaborate. We want our kids together. We are all about our kids being together. We are all about collaborative learning, right? We have a certain way that we believe schools should feel and look, and it's all about producing outcomes for balance of academic and social emotional learning so that our kids aren't just here to go through the numbers and get the academics. We want to make sure that the social emotional is tied in. So a lot of that plays in here. So first of all, we've decided to stay with the current configuration where students who are going to be with their teacher on campus will do so in the morning, and students who are going to be with their teacher digitally will do so in the afternoon. That's a big deal to us because some people decided to do both at the same time. And I got to tell you, I love what we're doing. Here's why. I walked outside today and I saw kids with their teacher outside, learning outside. I saw kids this afternoon on Google Meet with their teacher because they were distance learning kids and they're with their teacher and they had the full attention of their teacher. For us, the teacher's focusing on one group at a time. The children in front of that teacher is the most important group, and so we think that's really important. So our increased capacity is 4 days a week, and part of that is about keeping our community together. We will have hundreds of students who are still engaging in distance learning full time. Those children should not lose their teacher and be shipped off to a distance learning teacher. Those children should not lose their classmates who they've been with through an entire global pandemic and been through the trauma of all that we've been through together. Only at 6 weeks from the end of school, we're not going to take them away and be like, well, your parents decide you're a distance learner, so we're going to put you somewhere else. Nope. We're keeping our kids together which is what we've said we were going to do since March of last year. And so we're sticking to that. And that's why that Wednesday piece is a big deal for us. It seems weird, like, why are we doing distance learning on Wednesday? Because if you're a distance learner, that's the only day of the week where the whole classroom will be together. So whether you're an on-campus learner or a distance learner, on Wednesday, we're all going to be in our classroom community together with our teacher that we've been with since August. And look, love it or hate it, we think it makes a lot of sense for the social emotional well-being of our children. And I got to tell you, as an educator with over 20 years experience in this neighborhood, I've never seen the amount of mental health referrals that we're seeing right now. Our children need us to be supportive of them, and part of that is keeping them together, keeping them with their teacher who knows them, so their teacher says, oh, it looks like you need my support right now. You have my full attention. So keeping our teachers healthy and keeping our children healthy is part of what we think we're doing. This whole staying with the teacher is a big deal because some schools, many schools, are solving this problem by saying, okay, distance learners, we're going to take you away from your teacher and put you with a distance learning teacher, and then you'll have an in-class teacher and a distance learning teacher. You know, we're not doing that for a lot of reasons that you just heard me talk about. But one of the things is, like, if you're an in-class learner in that scenario and you go to grandma's house for Easter and get exposed to COVID and you have to quarantine for 2 weeks, where do you go? Now you can't come to school and your teacher no longer does distance learning. So you either have to miss school for 2 weeks or join a group of kids who you're not a part of, you're not part of that community for 2 weeks. And everybody has to make decisions. This is the decision we made. Keep our kids together with their teacher and their classmates. Wednesdays will be that day where we're all together. Now, the AM, PM, it's a shortened day. It's so tough. It's like by the time you drop off your student in the morning and then you grab a cup of coffee, you're like, it's dismissal. It's like a 2.5 hour day. It's tough. And I get that. And when we get back to the fall, let's get back to business as usual. But for right now, we want to make sure our kids at home and our kids at school each equitably get as much time with that teacher as we can give them. And that's 2.5 hours here and 2.5 hours here. And once you start adding up the day, there's just no more hours in the day to do it the way we're doing it. And so, while it seems like a short day, and it is, I do love what I'm seeing. I am seeing children joyfully engaged in learning with the full focus of their teacher and their classmates. And let's do that instead of 2 days a week. Let's increase it to 4 days a week.
Mr. Can I just say, from parent perspective and for my family, I think this is fantastic because not only do those teachers know our students, but we've had conferences with them. So I've had a conference with my teacher where I said, this is a concern of mine. And that teacher may reach out to me and say, hey, one of your kids is having an off day. And I was very fearful that teacher shuffling, they just wouldn't know my student or connect with my student or just have that background. So I appreciate the staying with the teacher because I think changing teachers can be just another trauma in and of itself. So that's something I just really appreciate.
Yeah, it's a good shout out. Thanks, Amber. These are not easy decisions, team. You're right, and I appreciate everyone who's been part of making them. I think we're in the right spot. We had 6.5 weeks from April 26th to the last day of school. We're going to stick together. We're going to do a great job. And then when we get to the fall, it's gonna look different, right? We're going to get back to a little more of what we know. Let's do some 5-day-a-week, full-day schools. And then this is just my last piece. We are assuming this is the last change of the year, #NoJinx. Like, we think this is it, right? Like, we're getting to increase capacity, and we're going to ride this one out for 6.5 weeks as a community together. I just nothing is good or bad unless compared to something else. Here's kind of like just what's going on in our neighborhood. There's a lot of neighborhoods in Sacramento that are still trying to even get back to, to reopen. Like, there's not every district, not every school is back yet. But in Natomas, we're so lucky. Every one of our schools is open and rocking. We're doing 4 days a week, and I told you why. Keeping our community together, focusing on one group at a time, and keeping our kids with their teacher. Natomas Charter went to 5 days a week, which is awesome for them. They did reorganize their classes, though, and I talked to the executive director of Natomas Charter. Joe Wood and I are really good friends. And they're loving 5 days a week. The breaking apart of classes, though, he was heartbreaking. He was like, you know what? A lot of people were really unhappy when they lost their teacher. And the other complication he did recognize was that, like, yeah, when someone gets sick, it's a struggle because where do you put them? NP3 charter school is 4 days a week, and they've got two things going on, right? They reorganized their classes on the K-5 side, so they've got kind of the similar problems that Atoma's Charter School talked about, but on the 6-12 side, they're using the concurrent learning model, which is, the Zoom in the room. And so, every model's got its problems. Our problem is our day is too short, and we're only doing 4 days instead of 5. I acknowledge that. That's our problem, but you've heard me say why we accept these problems. The Zoom in the room problem is, yeah, my kid's coming back to school, but they're sitting on a computer. And so it's a trade-off, right? Everybody, there's no perfect model yet. And then NUSD, same deal. They're 5 days a week, but they're also doing the Zoom in the room, and they're struggling with that part of it. They're not having as much fun and joyful outdoor learning, but they're getting more days a week. And so every one of the leaders of these organizations has had to make really hard decisions, and nobody made a bad decision, in my opinion, because there's no right decisions. Everyone made the decisions based on their mission statements and their educational philosophy, and we've landed where we are. And I just thank Westlake Charter School for everybody, families, our students, our staff, for all working together to, upholding our mission and doing learning the way that we do. And so the last piece is remember what we're doing. This is about keeping the kids in our community safe. The pandemic's not over. We still need to follow the recommendations from the Sacramento County Public Health Department. We ask everyone to continue to adhere to masking guidelines, socially distancing guidelines, staying at home when you're experiencing symptoms. Now is not the time to be it's kind of over, right? It's over. I'm just going to give them some Advil and send them to school. Please don't do that. We have not yet experienced, knock on wood, we've not yet experienced a classroom closure or a grade level closure. But the minute we let our guard down, that's what you're going to be looking at. The minute we start saying, oh, it's probably fine. So I'm just saying, you've been great, Westlake. You've been amazing. Let's stay strong, adhere to the guidelines and the rules, stay home when we have symptoms, and let's get through this thing together because we have not yet experienced a transmission at school or an exposure at school, because those things lead to classroom closures, cohort closures, grade level closures, and we just don't want to have to experience that at all. We really need to work together. Here's your homework, Westlakers. If you're coming back on the 26th and you haven't been back on campus yet, first of all, welcome back. Can't wait to have you. A lot of new families coming back. So excited to see you guys. Number one, review the Return to School guidebook. It's always in the Westlake Weekly every week, and it's got all the details. We're also updating the details for increased capacity coming out this week. So even if you have been on campus, not a bad idea to take a look at the updated guidebook. And then this piece, review the orientation materials. And again, they're in the Westlake Weekly. There's little videos about hand washing and social distancing, drop off and pick up and all the things. So, okay, I know I went long. Sorry, team. I'll jump out of my section, but I'm excited to come back to 4 days a week. Em, is there any comments that we should respond to, or are we good right now?
There was a parent who just asked, or a family member out there who asked about the percentages of students who are staying in group versus who's coming back on campus.
Yeah, I don't have percentages, but I did talk to who's I talking to today? Dr. Lochtef from the middle school, and he said, hey, how many kids are at home? And still hundreds, over 200 kids are still on full-time distance learning. So hundreds and hundreds of children. So when we make these decisions about equity, hey, we are not talking about one or two kids. We are talking about hundreds of children that need us to have eyes on them to make sure they're getting what they get. So yeah, I wish I had a percentage number to throw at you. I don't have it. Caillou, is this next section you? Oh, I love it.
It is. I'm glad to be able to talk about it for just a moment. Last month, I think it was just last month, we had a couple of teacher leaders from this Reflection, Action, and Transformation team that came out and spoke to us, and which was great at the last Coffee Talk, but I just wanted to share a little bit of the professional development that's happening kind of organically with our teaching team and our classified team right now. So we really have, as a school this year, have really thought about reflection, action, and transformation in the social justice world as we look at equity. And we said, hey, as a team, if you'd like to read this book, the book is Anti-Racist, and I'd encourage families out there that are interested in a book. This is a great book that is easy to digest for this topic, right? Sometimes they're not as easy to, and this book is good to read. And so we've encouraged our staff. We said, hey, if you would like to be a part of a book club, go ahead and we'll get you the book, and we will encourage you and hook you up with other teammates. And so we have voluntary book clubs being led right now, and they're being led by teacher leaders, and they're fantastic. And they're getting together. Some are using a Voxer, some are using just a discussion board, some are getting in a Google Meet, and it's all about how they want to learn. But they're having some really powerful conversations and just all about reflection. They're really pushing each other just to look at their own practices, their own beliefs, and to reflect on. And this book has really good reflection questions throughout the book as well. And I threw up one of the slides up there from one of the clubs, and it talks about discussions, and it brings up here's some vocabulary that's been brought up in the book. Talk about let's discuss what this looks like, and what's a vocabulary word that's been brought to your attention, and how do you feel? And so I just think it's such a powerful work, and I wanted to bring it to our families to let them know that we're still moving on this work because it's so important. And right now we have over 55 teachers and classified staff reading it at a voluntary pace, and I'm just honored that they know how important it is too, and they're moving the work forward together as a team. And so I'm proud of them. And if you want to talk this book, I'd love to talk it with you too. It's a good book. Amber, I think you got one of those books, huh?
I did. I am really loving it. And I also appreciate that you have put this out in a way where people can take their time and really reflect on it in their own way, right? I think that's important. Instead of saying everybody's getting on and you have to talk about this, I think it's very cool that everybody just kind of learns and processes things in their own way. I love it.
Yeah, thank you. And so that's what I'm kind of short and sweet tonight, but I just wanted to kind of share that that's some of the work that's still happening while we're reopening school. And it's important work. So thanks for letting me share.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing it, Ms. Caillou. This book, honestly, is written at the 8th grade level and is great for your children. If you want to talk with your kids, all the way down into, even the primary grades, it approaches the topic in such a manageable way. Yeah, so great book. Can I tell you guys something funny? Mrs. Grimaldi, our Spanish teacher in middle school, made us all get the Move It app. Did you guys get it? It's the Move It. And so every 15 or 30 minutes, my screen goes red, and it tells you something to do to stay active. Like run in place for 30 seconds. While you were talking, my screen on YouTube just went to do a ladder climb for 10 seconds. So I'm gonna move it right now because I promised that I would do the Move It thing. Oh, how embarrassing. So everybody on YouTube just saw my screen do that. You guys didn't see it though, right? Oh, did you see it, Jen? Oh yeah, my whole screen just went there. Great. Well, there you go, YouTube. That's what's happening at Westlake. All of us are doing the Move It extension to not get lazy here. All right, best part of the show, Wave Talk with Amber Husted. Husted, what do you got this week?
So this week, of course, I have to talk one last time about our international festival that is launching on April 25th. I'm really excited about this. We've had lots of families send in their submissions, and it's been videos or Google documents with what they love about their culture and their traditions. There's recipes. There's just so many fantastic things coming in, but I want more. So if you're on this, you're listening right now, please consider having your students come up with something that they want to share. A lot of students have been doing this, which is just really cool. And it can be as simple as a craft and demonstrating a craft, or just taking a picture of it. It doesn't have to be a video. It can be a recipe. You could do a video of a dance. There's just so many different options. So please consider doing this. And we really would just love to have it by, I think we said April 22nd. And so you still have a couple more weeks to get it done, and just reach out to me if you have any questions. And I really want everybody also to be encouraged to really, when this launches, to check it out. You're going to take a trip around the world with Westlake families. You're going to see, you're going to learn about their culture. You're going to see what students love about their culture and traditions they have. And there's going to be amazing recipes, I promise you. And so please be sure to check it out when it comes out. And like I mentioned, some of the samples that have come in have just been fantastic. So if you need any ideas or suggestions, just reach out to me. And then I know it's really wild to think how close we are to the end of the school year. So we're already starting to kind of look at next year. We're not sure how things are going to look, but we're still forming committees. And so if you're listening to this right now, that's you, because you're the ones I want to reach. So we have a few committees forming. We have the community and family night. Some of these might be virtual. We'll see what we can do. We had a science night a couple weeks ago that was just fantastic. We had a great time. And so we just want a committee to get together and come up with these things, come up with fun things that our families would like to do, and that are just fun community nights that are free. We also are working on the fireworks booth. I'm supposed to have a final spot this week. So please, I need your help. I need your help to make this possible. It raises a lot of money for nonprofits. Fireworks booths do. Most booths make like $10,000 to $15,000 just from working for a few days. So please reach out to me. We need help. And we're looking at forming a committee to create the Olympic Triathlon next year and the International Festival. So we need groups to put those together, whether it's virtually or not. We'll see but let's get together and let's start working those types of things out. And then we'll be looking at staff appreciation next year. And I just wanted to kind of put these out there. So if you're thinking, how can I get involved next year? Please start thinking about these different committees that are forming. We have corporate donations, so we're going to be reaching out to corporations who always give out items or monetary amounts for nonprofits like WAVE. WAVE is a nonprofit corporation, so we can get these free types of things from corporations, but we just need people that can actually request them. And so we just need help, and you can do this at home, spend a couple hours a month requesting some free items, and you will help us greatly. And then we need a spirit gear team. Let's come up with some more spirit gear for next year. And let's get a new online store going and work that out. So we just need some committees, and these people, I don't know how many people are on here right now, but it's you. So please reach out to me and let's talk about how you can get involved. And then staff appreciation is coming up in just a couple weeks. It's May 3rd. Yes. So this is our annual teacher and staff donation. If you think there's whatever you can come up with, we would love to have some donations. So please send me an email if you're interested in that, or if you just want to find out how you can get involved in our staff appreciation, or if you have any questions about it, reach out to me.
Yeah,
that's what's going on this month.
Let's have a fun staff appreciation week. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, good call. I didn't see that one coming. That's a good call. And spirit gear, will that include some cool high school gear?
I hope so, Mrs. Batten.
Mrs. Batten, is there? I mean, might there be like, are the kids working on a new, like, on the mascot or anything like that?
Yeah, there may be a mascot unveiling at a coffee talk coming to your neighborhood soon.
Oh, that's so exciting!
We're gonna think I'm doing it today. Not today. It's coming soon. I promise.
Yeah, this is the Easter egg. Ta-da! Yeah.
Wow, you waited all this time.
Oh, that's great. That's great. It's so much exciting stuff. And that international festival, Houston, it made me think like we both agreed that the talent show in some ways was our best one ever. And nothing replaces the beautiful sights and smells of the International Festival on campus. But this year just might be equally magical in a whole new way. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This is gonna be great. All right, let's bring it home. Are there any questions or comments out there on the form that we should be responding to, Mrs. Batten?
I don't see anything new popping in yet, but if you're out there, admit something. Go ahead.
Speaking of unveiling, high school happenings with Mrs. Batten. What's happening at the high school, Mrs. Batten?
It's like a podcast. I should have my own high school happenings podcast. So we're going to talk about the East Commerce Innovation Center, our location for our high school, and talk about specifically our outdoor space. I think we've dropped some nuggets in videos. We may have talked a little bit about a coffee talk. So if you've missed all that, then you've come to the right show tonight, because you're going to get a big unveil of some really cool images.
I love this picture. Sorry, I didn't interrupt Batten, but I have seen the next slide where you unveil what it's going to look like. And so I was thinking that slide was coming up, and I was like, oh, this is what it looks like now. Sorry. Right. This is hilarious.
Yes.
Please, Batten, go ahead. Tell us more.
So you're looking at the 10,000 square feet of outdoor space that we have on the back of our amazing high school building. And the space, has been used in a variety of different ways for a variety of different schools. And so when we looked at that space, I think my initial impression was like, oh, it's not that much room. And then we did a measuring, and we're like, it's 10,000 square feet. What can we do? And so we began to dream with a design team. And I will just shout out every single person who had a hand on building our current K-8 campus, because the thought that went into that design, the design of that campus, from the ground up, right, from the first shovel that hit the ground to when we had teachers beginning to imagine how instruction could look on an indoor-outdoor use of space, that has really laid this amazing foundation for us to then go into this 10,000 square foot space and imagine what is possible. Yeah. And so we really threw every piece of spaghetti against the wall. I don't know if that's a saying, I just made it up. With our design team, we're like, we want this and this and this. And they came back to us within within the constraints of our project, and have given us and it's really small on the screen, so I'm hoping people can see it, but we will also include the Westlake Weekly, so you can click on the link and check it out. This is the East Commerce Innovation Center outdoor space, and I've outlined the 4 boxes because these 4 boxes represent different zones in this space, and I think as we talk about the space, we want to zoom in on those zones. And so you'll see the box in the upper left-hand corner. It's kind of a chill zone. So that box is it is surrounded by plants, a raised planter bed that has some tables inside of it. It will be a quieter, kind of insulated space from the rest of the area. It will be used as an outdoor classroom space, similar to how we use our indoor-outdoor learning spaces on our K-8 campus. It will also be a space that students can go and do just that, chill. I shared this with a team of 8th graders today, and they're like, oh my gosh, can we just go eat our lunch over there quietly? I was like, totally. Could we take our Chromebooks out there and work on a small project like we do on the cement walls outside of our classroom now? Totally. So they've been so programmed to use this outdoor space that they're beginning to look at it and dream and imagine. Right to the next to that space, we have an activity zone. As I talk about the activity zone, do want to, and again, I apologize for how tiny it is, but there's a little set of stairs coming off of right by that chill zone I just talked about. Those stairs are coming outside of our full gymnasium. So I want you to imagine a lunchtime period where the door is open to the gym for basketball, and students are able to flow in and out. They could eat lunch and then go in and play basketball there. But we also designated an activity zone space because students were like, we want to play. Somebody today was like, can we get cornhole and play cornhole out there? And just kind of be like a beach vibe, which I was very excited about. So you'll have that kind of more gross motor basketball area, but also another activity space on this zone. And then just below that, we have our lunch area that will be set up as a separate decking space with tables, and separating the lunch area are 2 sort of sheds that will have maybe a snack bar. Students are really excited about snacks. Apparently in high school, vending machines and snacks are the money. Every time I say vending machines, the chat on our Google Meets explodes. They're like, vending machines, let's tell us. So snack bar out there for that lunch period. And then, again, thinking about each of these spaces as not just something that we're using during the lunch period, right? Our outdoor space in our K-8 campus is used every day, all day, Mr. I mean, even as we've returned to campus in this hybrid model, we see teachers getting outside. The minute they had students in front of them, they got outside, and that's the same thing that we will program at our high school. And so while there is a classroom space programmed out there, so you'll see right next to the lunch zone, tables and movable whiteboard areas set up for a classroom space. Really, any of the spaces out here could be used for a whole class to come out and meet, a small group to do some group work out there. We've seen on K-8 dances being created for various showcases and productions. So we expect the same thing will happen out here. Clubs could come meet out here. We can, Amber, I'm like, what community events can we hold in this space? We're so excited about those pieces. And just this extension of the indoor space that we're building. Again, we've shared some of those indoor images of our student commons, our Explorer Lounge, our classroom spaces. So this is just another enhancement of that building. We're so excited to begin work on the East Commerce Innovation Center. So
Mrs. Batten, the ground looks very colorful. The picture you showed us was the asphalt. I mean, so is that real?
Yeah. So we part of our design team talked about how to paint and really use paint on the asphalt to designate different areas. Right. That when we just know that when we add color, it brings something to the project, but that the paint will actually also help us to define areas. So the green that you see around, those are plants.
Yeah, there's how many plants are there? There's like
over 400 plantings.
400 plants in raised planter boxes, and those raised planter walls are seatable walls, right? So kids can sit and chill on the wall, surrounded by greenery, getting that fresh vibe. I mean, so different from this, which is super functional for what it was for, but now it's going to be this. That is really cool.
Yeah, we're excited. So the paint, you'll see a little, I inadvertently covered up a little Westlake shield right there, right in the middle of the space. So we're going to get Westlake out there and use that space to paint it up and make sure it's lots of fun.
Yeah, big shout out to you, Batten. I mean, in the design process, I know it's been a lot of fun to talk about plants and talk about cool, flexible spaces. This is like a little AstroTurf space with like beach chairs. I mean, good on you for thinking about the usability of every space, the chill zone versus the activity zone. But the thing I'm most proud about, Emily, is this little ramp right here. There was the architect said, well, we don't need to put an accessibility ramp because those, if a kid's in a wheelchair, they can just kind of go around and enter from a different zone. And you were like, it's all or nothing. We are all in. We're all going down that ramp together, or we ain't having an outdoor. And I just went Westlake Charter School. So good on you. Hey, it was an extra like $20,000. I get it, but like nothing happens without that full accessibility piece. And to watch you say that as our high school principal, I was like, all in. So yeah, good on you. I mean, I love that this ramp leads right to the center of the whole deal, that we are accessible to all children who go to our school and in our part of our community. So anyway, really good stuff. Is there another slide here?
There's one more slide. So if you've been watching this, and Amber just did a call out for if you're watching, it's you. So I'm going to say it again. If you're watching, it's you. And we have had just, through the Westlake Weekly asking families to help with building. So we knew before we even got our final plans that we were going to have some really neat furniture outside in this outdoor space. We've seen some amazing innovations from our local restaurants as they've transitioned their services outside to build kind of these funky tables that were pretty easy to build and put together. And so it got our brains thinking well, what could our community do? We know that if a restaurant could do it, Westlake Charter School community could blow that out of the water. And so we, through the Westlake Weekly, have asked for some support, and we've had a tremendous showing of support from our families. So if you're like, oh, I want to help with this project, right? In the Westlake Weekly this week, or you can follow that bit.ly link, wcsinfo.cc/WCHS Outdoor, all one word. You can sign up to be part of the building team. So that team that will be getting blueprints together, and you can, put hammer and nails to wood and build some furniture. I've had some families say, hey, I'm not in that form. I'm not a builder, but I want to help. I'm happy to grab my truck and help bring it over when the time happens, or I'm happy to be out there on a Saturday and, put it out there. Mr. Ike and Amber and Jen, I was thinking about the year we moved on to our K-8 campus. We had the back to school barbecue, and then we all trudged over to campus and put together those blue tables underneath the covered dining. And I'm excited to have that moment recreated for our high school again. So, if you're interested in signing up for that, do that now. We will be, over the next few weeks talking about donations for supplies and donations. If you want to donate some supplies, will be a space to do that. If you want to just make a financial donation, potentially to help get some of these pieces off the ground, because there's a lot of like, this is what we're going to do, right? This is kind of the base package, if you will. But there's a lot of fun, like, we could do this or we could do that with our community support. We're excited to see where we can go with this piece. And just thank you to everybody who has supported along the way and the feedback. And
yeah, it's funny, Ann, because, you know, there are pieces in there for the donate. Hey, we love to have you donate supplies. Lumber is hard to get right now because it's expensive. If you got a line on lumber, we love it. If you are somehow in the tile and paver industry and you got a line on pavers, we need some pavers. We need blocks. If you have a line on that, great. Or if you want to do a cash donation, right? We're going to set up a website where you're like, hey, put me down for 10 pavers. Here's $100. We need the collaboration on that. But what's really funny is, Amber, I don't know if you know this, but for years, we've been working on getting a shade structure over the playground here at the K-8. Well, we are finally getting our shade structure. Thank you, everybody, for your patience, but a shade structure is finally coming over the playground at the K-8. Well, now we're raising money because we need to place a shade structure over that lunch area at the high school. So it's so funny. I feel like we'll just be constantly trying to get a shade structure for the rest of our lives. Hey, this is exciting, Ms. Batten. This is great stuff. I probably won't build anything because I'll either cut off a finger or it'll come out crooked, but I will definitely get involved. I know we need people out there when it comes time to spread bark and put in plants in the planter boxes, because every time one of us does that, that reduces our labor costs for having those things installed. So yeah, we need everybody. Amber, let's plan a barbecue on the same day that we're doing that, and they'd be like, oh, hey, everybody. You're at the barbecue. Come on down the street and spread some bark. Good stuff, good stuff. Hey, Em, is there any questions or concerns in the feedback form that we should be jumping on?
You're muted.
That is the saying of 2020, 2021, right? That's like the New York Times saying of the year. You're muted.
I literally muted myself and then talked right after it. That was... Maestra Grimaldi has submitted a comment. She said, I can't wait for next year.
Yeah, Maestra
I
Grimaldi
was excited about the dancing, but next year is...
Hey, and everyone knows that Mrs. Grimaldi is our high school Spanish teacher, right? That has been announced.
It's not been officially announced. I think you just made the announcement.
Well, I guess I did. I thought that was officially announced. If you didn't know that,
I think she has. I think she has been sharing with her classes, and we have given her grace to do that. We're slowly, we've got our Westlake by the numbers rolling out over the next few weeks in the Westlake Weekly. So it's exciting, and thank you for making. I know she's probably jumping for joy.
I wanted to do it because if she's watching, I want her to know that I am so fired up to have Mrs. Grimaldi as a founding Westlake Charter High School teacher. I cannot think of anybody who bleeds blue more than Abigail Grimaldi. In fact, where is my stamps? She just made these incredible stamps. My daughter must have stolen them. These little Westlake Charter stamps. Like nobody bleeds blue like Abby Grimaldi, and she is going to go to the high school and just make Westlake happen. There they are. Look at these.
Look at that.
Look at these stamps. They're just phenomenal. So yeah, what an honor to have Grimaldi be excited about next year. She's going to bring it like nobody's business. Hey,
she's already put a stamp. I just have to. At our signing day that we celebrate the top of the show, we had a photo booth, and I was like, hey, I just want them to have a prop that they could hold. This was 2 days before signing day. Keep in mind that my crazy ideas sometimes come right before it's about to happen. And she's like, I think I can do it. And she created 150 little signs. Mr. Ike, I think, may have one that he's going to share, that the students got to hold in the photo booth, and then students who are signing up or who are getting their gear to them now, they're getting them too. There we are, founding director.
So Grimaldi, right? Just everything she touches turns to, I would say, gold, but turns to explode blue. Yeah. Hey, it's good stuff. I'm glad I got to out that Grimaldi is a founding teacher. Sorry about not blowing that on air. Any other comments in the question box there, Mrs. Batten? No? Mrs. Caillou, I see you shaking your head no. Well, hey, good show, everybody. Thanks for Coffee Talk today. If you're out there watching this show, share this link with a friend so everybody can be in the know on all these exciting things that we talked about. And Westlake community, thank you. Thank you for being part of. If you're watching this, you're one of those people that are so part of this whole thing that is Westlake, that we appreciate you more than you know. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. And as always, let's